Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video here at tablemon. Thanks so much for watching. Today we're going to be analyzing and playing with the World Champion deck from Masters. And that was Riley McKay's Gardevoir EX deck, which definitely had a unique spin to it. It had some similarities to Isaiah Bradner's NAIC Gardevoir list with the 4 Munkidori and the 4 basic Darkness Energy, but instead of having the Turbo Energize, it did feature the combo of Flutter Mane plus Technical Machine Devolution. Now, this combo can be pretty powerful. Flutter Mane can deny abilities from the active Pokemon, of course, and in the mirror it can actually be pretty crucial if you manage to strand a Gardevoir EX in the active from your opponent and you prevent Psychic Embrace from taking place, then usually they will not be able to retreat, and at the very least it could buy you a turn of no pressure, and sometimes that's going to be enough to put the damage on the Gardevoir and set up for a potential Technical Machine Devolution play. But other than that, it's honestly very similar to the very standard Gardevoir EX deck that we have seen continuously win over and over since rotation. In the beginning, we had a 4 Night Stretcher build with Budew. Now we've transitioned to this more research and Iono heavy build with Night Stretcher and Super Rod for recovery and a big focus on Technical Machine Evolution. But it's not the only way to get Gardevoir EX out. We have 2 Kirlia for our Technical Machine Devolutions, but we also have 2 copies of Rare Candy in case we need a more immediate response in this very aggressive metagame. Now, another big standout missing from this list is Drifloon. We do have a copy of Bravery Charm, but we do not in fact have Drifloon to take advantage of it. Bravery Charm helps Screamtail do more damage, helps a Munkidori be put out of range of an Iron Hands Ampu very much, which was very popular at the event. And more importantly, it makes it so that both Lillie's Clefairy EX or Mew EX are out of range of a Dragapult's Phantom Dive, protecting either of those Pokemon, but especially Clefairy, from getting knocked out by your opponent's Phantom Dive is actually extremely crucial, and therefore the Bravery Charm definitely has a lot of use, even though we are not having Drifloon for that bonus damage present here. Now, another reason not to have Drifloon is the fact that Jamming Tower was actually very prominent in a lot of Dragapult decks, and just in general, any Munkidori damage that your opponent might have available to them, or even a Team Rocket's bomb, could make it so that the Drifloon is under pressure, and therefore you don't want to give your opponent an extra price card. So Drifloon, the 1-hit KO capabilities it gives you also can become a liability in some situations. So it's very important to find a balance, and of course Riley McKay found the perfect balance for that. Now, despite Gholdengo being a tough matchup for Gardevoir, and it being both the #1 deck on day 1 and day 2, Riley was able to, I believe, beat the two of the 3 Gholdengos that he played against and tie against another one. So amazing run by Riley, amazing play, and also the deck clearly responded. It flowed very well in the crucial moments, and he was able to become the world champion. So how about we take this list for a spin? Let's play a couple of games. I'm actually ranked decently high in the ladder at the 1700 ELO range. So let's get to it. Let's play some games with the world champion winning deck list from the Masters division. All right, here we go. We are up against Martin, and seems like we have lost the coin flip. You do want to go second with this deck if you can, for the TMUO capabilities and the fact that a turn 1 with items and supporters combined is just that much more powerful than a turn with only items. Now, this hand is not world champion worthy, that's for sure, but we'll see what our top deck brings, what our mulligan brings as well. It's actually multiple mulligans, and it seems like we are up against a mirror match, so it makes sense that at the top end of the ladder you get to see a lot of people trying out the world champion deck, right? It makes all the sense in the world. Now, one thing I do like about having that extra 4th Darkness Energy, which is not super common amongst most Gardevoir decks, right, before the World Championships, is you have a bit more freedom to attach that in order to retreat and whatnot, so that's definitely a welcome addition. Seems like my opponent is realizing that we are playing a mirror match. Okay, so now this hand is honestly really bad. I think we're gonna have to go for like a Mew angle. Having 2 Night Stretchers is just incredibly bad, along with a copy of our Bravery Charm. Okay, I'm definitely gonna bench Munkidori. I mean, there's also the chance that my opponent could just end up playing Iono on their turn. There's a decently high chance of that. Oh, very awkward hand though. I think I'm gonna pass for now. Like, and my next turn honestly might be attach, retreat, TM Evo the Ralts into the Kirlia. We'll see. Well, I mean, but it just has raw Secret Box in their hand. That always feels really bad to see. Like when you have a dead hand and your opponent just has the raw A-spec, right? They have 1 copy of that and they didn't even need to Arven for it. So it is what it is. Can't do much about it at this point in time. Now, we immediately see, though, we find out that there's a Drifloon stuck in this energy for some reason, and they are playing the Drifloon, right? So them playing the Drifloon does mean that this is not the world champion winning deck list. There's at least 1 card different from their deck list to mine. So that's perhaps where the Flutter Mane could make an impact. We also don't know if they have TM Devo or available or not. They actually choose not to grab a tool card, which they already have. They do have Artazon, which we actually welcome quite a bit, because that means my TM Evo will be a lot stronger. And they go for the research, right? So we're rooting for them to draw 1 or 2 Kirlias off of this research. We'll see what the last card is from their hand. It is a counter catcher, so 1 less cost effect is a good piece of information to have in terms of what they can or cannot do. Now, they already have 3 Psychics in the discard pile. They have a Darkness in their hand, and they have a fresh hand of 7 cards. And there's honestly no way I can punish this. There's no potential threat I can do. There is a Kirlia right there, but yeah, I don't even have enough energies to really make something happen here. So, I mean, I can TM Evo. I think that's my best hope. Get a Ralts. This will also be my first price check. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to grab a Ralts. Fez is available and the 2 Kirlias are available. So might have to rely on Fezandipiti to pull something big, and I might have to try to buy some time with the counter catcher with the Flutter Mane play. Now, TM Devo is priced, and so TM Devo and 1 Psychic are priced. Very important to price check as much as you can. 1 Ultra Ball is also priced. 1 Nest Ball is also priced, and 1 Research is priced. And in terms of Pokémon, there is a Ralts priced as well. So there's our 6 prizes figured out. I'm probably gonna forget later down the line. Now I could just TM Evo with this Ralts to keep the Munkidori. But I think having double Kirlia is gonna be very important here. So I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice essentially the Munkidori in order to be able to have double Kirlia. So there's definitely no clear path for me to win this game just yet. However, I mean, we're gonna try, right? We are probably expecting a knockout on the Munkidori. We could also end up getting knocked out by a Screamtail on one of the Kirlias, which I think is my opponent's best bet, most likely. Limit me to 1 Kirlia. Now we do have the double Night Stretcher available. They just have the Gardevoir EX, so, and they did draw a Kirlia, but the other one was available. So yeah, it's rough. Like this game, we simply have a much more inferior, that sounds weird. We have an inferior setup to our opponent, right? Double Monkey with Gardevoir EX. We are about to lose either a Kirlia or the Munkidori. And it's not even that they want second. It's that our hand has been completely atrocious for 2 turns in a row, right? And a lot of the games can be decided by that. And I mean, you would ask, well, this is a world champion deck list, right? being the world champion doesn't make you immune to dead drawing. Yeah, I would actually argue the fact that in order to be a world champion, you actually need to have a little bit of luck on your side, right? Of course, you have to be very good. Of course, you have to have a very good deck list, but you definitely need you definitely need it to be your day. That's what you need. You need it to be your day in order to be successful at the World Championships. Now, they did choose to establish the second Munkidori. They will out Munkidori me for most of the game, probably. But this does mean that both of my Kirlias are safe. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this is gonna come down to the draw, to the Fezandipiti draw, unless I top deck something very good. And even if I top deck research, like that's just gonna be pretty bad overall. Now, Ultra Ball away the second counter catcher. So unless they're playing 3 or unless they have a boss's orders, and they bench a Mew EX for draw. So this tells us that their hand is not very good. That opens up the possibility for us to snipe that down eventually, because we don't have like the big damage output against the Gardevoir, right? That's like one big issue here, but oh well. Here we go. I mean the Flutter Mane. Okay, I feel like I should go with the Flutter Mane. It already has damage. I need to put more damage on my board, and if it goes down, it goes down. All right, top deck Screamtail. I mean, what do I guess, yeah, that's gonna be the discard. If I need the Screamtail back, I do have Night Stretcher. Bravery Charm still has some utility, so it's all gonna come down to this Fezandipiti essentially. We are going to establish a Munkidori and hope for the best. That's literally all we can ask for. And the best would definitely not be a research. Well, we didn't even get a research. So we have 2 energy to work with. 2 energy to work with, and that's it. So this is not looking very good for me. All right, I'm gonna have to end up using both of my Night Stretchers, one for Screamtail and one for a Darkness Energy. So here's what we do. Can I? Yeah, I think I snipe their Munkidori. I think that's what I should be doing here. I could snipe the Kirlia, which is also tempting, but I think I really need to snipe the Munkidori since I am very limited right now. So we're gonna Psychic Embrace. Like, I'm just trying to make the best out of the situation, honestly. With both Night Stretchers now exhausted as well, it's gonna be, to say it's gonna be difficult to win is the understatement of the century. All right. So this is 80, and then we can transfer 30. And then we are pretty safe from a double Munkidori play, return KO this upcoming turn. KOing the Kirlia was definitely tempting though, but for now I think KOing the Munkidori is the way to go. Hope I don't regret it. We do free up the Ralts, probably the least useful price card that we have right now. Energy or Iono would have been a lot more welcome. And yeah, we'll see what we get here. My opponent just grabs another Munkidori. Do they just have the next Dark Energy available immediately? I mean, there's a Night Stretcher, so they will have that. Or they grab the Screamtail. No, they focus on the Munkidori, but they don't have damage, right? In order for them to have damage for double Munkidori play plus an attack, not gonna necessarily be easy for them. They will have to retreat. They could grab an Ultra Ball here and grab the other Gardevoir EX if it's available. And I guess that's one way to do it. Yeah, I guess that's definitely one way to do it. So yeah, Gardevoir, a lot of it comes down to like out Munkidoriing your opponent. in many situations, because then you have extra spread damage at your disposal, whereas your opponent does not. You do not grab an Ultra Ball. Do grab an Earthen Vessel to get rid of a Rare Candy. They grab a Dark and a Psychic. Do they have an Ultra Ball to get rid of that Psychic? Or what are they planning here? If they don't get an extra prize card, that'll be pretty good. I don't have a great response right now. You do Bravery Charm to protect their Munkidori, which is always, well, not always. It is a good move, but with 2 Night Stretchers down, you have to assume like the threat of Screamtail isn't really there, and you're protecting one, but the other one's still there, right? So then might as well save the Bravery Charm, and then whichever Munkidori goes down, you still have the other one. So I don't know, a little bit of a questionable play right there, I would say. They are going to retreat, and do they go into the Mew EX? Is that their play? No, they're gonna go into Kirlia. All right. So yeah, they really want to get this extra price card. So they haven't revealed if they have a Gardevoir EX yet or not. So part of me... Oh, okay, never mind. They're gonna go after the Flutter Mane and just KO the Screamtail. I was thinking if they don't Munkidori the active, then I get a free choice, but they do the right move. Goodbye Screamtail, and then Psychic, KO the Screamtail, and put me in a very awkward position, for sure. I'm wondering if knocking out the Kirlia last turn was the way to go. Alright, so now I'll definitely promote the Gardevoir. I have no damage on my board. And I do get a counter catcher. So this is a sort of situation, for example, where if I had Screamtail available, it would really shine here. So, sorry, not Screamtail, the Flutter Mane. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the Gardevoir EX, and now best case scenario is I find Iono and I find Superrod. Like, that would be the dream. I'm not gonna use the Artazon because that would be the way I get the Flutter Mane onto damage onto this dude. I do find an Iono, which I appreciate. They only have 1 energy on the Gardevoir EX. So part of me really, I mean, I need to attach to the active. I want to have a chance. I could just knock out the Mew EX as well. Keep the energies, essentially stock on the Kirlia. Doesn't sound bad at all either. I could KO the Munkidori as well. Tie things up a bit. Leave the Mew EX available. Yeah, I think maybe that's the way to go. Just a price map here is just really tough. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna KO the Munkidori. That's what I'm gonna do. Try to, like I said, out Munkidori my opponent. And over the best that way. Definitely running a little low on the energies, but okay. So I get all the energies I could possibly want now. I mean, I didn't know I was gonna draw this, so it's not like I made a mistake by attaching to the active, right? I had to essentially prepare for the worst. I'm gonna leave 1 dark in the deck, just in case my opponent Ionos me, so I don't clog up my hand too much. If I had the attach on the Munkidori right here, that would be incredible, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and Psychic Embrace twice, and then the 30 I'm gonna place on the Kirlia to keep that 20 damage on there. Like, they're just gonna heal it back, I'm pretty sure, but that's okay. That means damage stays elsewhere, right? Okay, so we are behind in the price cards. We don't have a draw support in our hand. Okay, research is good. Research could be pretty important to access Superrod, to access Counter Catcher. I kind of see a situation where maybe Flutter Mane does the trick. We'll see. Okay, so that Psychic is going to do a lot of damage, 150. The Munkidori immediately, the Nest Ball for Fez. So because we have Counter Catcher, that opens up another possibility, and we see the Raw Research. Very nice. Now, do they find another Darkness Energy? They can't use Screamtail, so they are definitely not taking a prize card this turn, which is actually pretty big. They do find the Gardevoir though. That's very not so nice. Okay, so they preemptively attach to the Fez, so their energies are essentially all over the place. So 190, 250. To Lillie's Clefairy does 220 plus 60, that's 280. So I'm 10 off on the knockout on this Gardevoir EX with Lillie's Clefairy EX. That's not great. I do top deck the Subrod, and that's actually pretty nice. Okay, so well, the issue is using Screamtail could lose me the game, actually, so never mind. So, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I think I really need to find Counter Catcher this turn. If I find Counter Catcher this turn, I could actually be in a pretty decent spot. So, I think my plan to win here, ideal plan would be Counter Catcher, KO Mew EX this turn. That's the dream, but it's not guaranteed. With Gardevoir, and then Screamtail, KO, the Fezandipiti, right? That's the dream. How realistic is that? Not very realistic. If I had knockout on the active with Lillie's Clefairy, I would definitely go for that. Maybe that's still worth it though. No, because if I do 60 plus 220 and then my opponent heals it off, I would need my third Munkidori, which maybe that's not unreasonable. I still have a Dark and I still have a Munkidori left in the deck. So I could transfer 90 damage to the Gardevoir, if I have the damage on board though, right? And not KOing. Oh, I'm so torn. I am actually so torn on this. Ugh. Part of me thinks the Lillie's Clefairy EX play was correct, but we'll see. Alright, I do get Secret Box, so this does mean I have Counter Catcher, which is fantastic. And I have a guaranteed Screamtail with Artazon. So this is actually pretty good. So realistically, I think I might have this one. Will I need... okay, I might need third Munkidori if my opponent KOs a Munkidori this upcoming turn. So I don't need Iono. I do want Counter Catcher. I do want these two, and I'll just play the TM Evo. Yeah, if I don't want the Bravery Charm getting Iono to the bottom of the deck, right? So this is all I need pretty much. I will have just enough energies possibly to pull this off. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna Counter Catcher. Oh, do I go after the Fez instead? Maybe that's the way to do it. Yeah, I should just KO Fez now. Because Mew, yeah, and this takes away my need to have the third Munkidori. Absolutely, this is way better. All right, so we're just gonna go Adrenal Brain, 2 to the Fez, or all the damage to the Fez, just essentially to heal my Gardevoir. I don't want more unnecessary energy elsewhere, and because my opponent is down 2 Counter Catchers, I'm not expecting any other Ghost effect. I think the biggest threat to me right now is a Ghost effect. Sorry, a disruption with Iono plus knockout Fez. But I do have Artazon, so I think I'll still be fine, actually. I mean, I don't want to say this is checkmate. I feel like every time I say that, I get punished for it. But my opponent cannot take 3 prize cards this turn. There is no way they can get 3 prize cards this turn. unless they have like a Terra, the Den AX, which I don't even know what its attack does, and Briar. All right, we're assuming they don't have that, so they cannot take 3 prizes this turn. And I have Screamtail in the deck. There's an Artazon in play, which I don't think my opponent will be able to counter. And there's a Mew EX. So, I mean, I guess the other option would be if my opponent can Turo. If they can Turo, then sure, they got it, right? They do Iono, so no Turo. And I really think this is game over, right? It doesn't matter what I draw. I just Artazon for Screamtail, get enough damage, 2 damage counters is enough, and then snipe the Mew EX for game. That's it, right? That should be it. That really should be it. The Super Odd, even if they KO 1 Munkidori, that is completely fine with their Screamtail. That is perfectly okay. Because we KO'd the Fez instead of the Mew. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that one. It's just, I mean, it's been a while since I've done videos of me playing and commentating and everything at the same time. It's way harder than you'd think, all right? Because every video ends up having, oh, you misplayed here, oh, you misplayed there, oh, you misplayed blah, 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 right? And sure, I misplay a lot when I'm making the videos, and there's many plays that I can do, and there's a timer, but because you're talking and trying to explain and be very clear about things, that's when things can get a little complicated for sure. But yeah, so the Flutter Mane ended up not making any sort of difference in the match, right? It could have. There were perhaps some openings that I could have exploited, but they weren't very clear. But not having Drifloon ended up not mattering too much. And here we are. My opponent had 1 prize card. It was an extremely close game, of course. My initial hand didn't seem like we were gonna do much, but I think my opponent might have, it wasn't a mistake. I don't want to say it was a mistake, but if my opponent had prioritized going after my Kirlia instead of the Munkidori, or instead of knocking out the active, that might have made an important difference, perhaps. Not so sure, but I feel like they also might have gotten a little overzealous with the Fez and the Mew EX. I mean, the Mew EX was early and it seemed like they needed it, but they drew 1 card, right? And they had everything else they needed at that point. So in order to just draw 1 card, or just benching Fezandipiti because you can, not because you need to, not because you need something specific right there, could end up being very costly, right? And that's exactly what ended up happening. My opponent had a better setup, had a better starting hand, had raw ace spec in hand, and yet they were not able to close out the game because they overbenched the liabilities, right? I didn't have Iono, I didn't have a way to attack their hand yet. They knew I was drawing bad because I hadn't played supporter, and they overextended their board, which led us to being able to win this match. And yeah, I think this was definitely a very interesting one, a very good match, so we're gonna leave it at 1. I'm gonna go ahead and record the Spanish video now, so if you're interested in watching more battles of me playing and utilizing the World Champion deck, you can definitely head on over to the Spanish channel and check the video out there as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know if you're interested in more content like this. The jail sent video was pretty well received, and I think 1 video of these per week. I think it'll be 2 this week because I want to talk about my Worlds deck that I chose. So this week we will have 2, and then every week after we will try to have 1 video of the most important deck or the most talked about deck, and showcasing the deck, analyzing it, and playing with it to explore its options, hopefully in the high ladder as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.